Hello and welcome to Dr. English channel. This is Dr. Muafi. I'm a PhD in Applied Linguistics, and today's lesson is very important because I want to share with you most common expressions we use for greetings. Greetings, right? Like hello, hi. These are the normal types of greetings we have in English. And I know for sure in most of the languages of the world, they have something for greetings, right? Like hi and hello. These are the most common or the easiest forms, okay? Then you can also add another thing, like what? Another expression like good morning. If it is morning, you say good morning. Then the answer would be something like good morning to you too, right? Good morning to you too. Or good noon. If it is around 12 o'clock. Around 12 o'clock, we say good noon. Or good afternoon. Good afternoon, it starts from noon up until 5 or sometimes 6 p.m. And then we have good evening. It starts from either 5 in the afternoon or 6 in the afternoon or p.m. Then up until 9 or 10. And please note, I didn't write good night because we don't use good night for greetings. We use good night to mean goodbye. Something close to that. And hopefully we'll record another video for farewell. And if you want to know more about farewell or the expressions we use, actually there in the farewell video. Check that video too, okay? Then you can move on, or you can combine this with another set of expressions. We don't use all of these expressions. We use either one of them. Either one of them. Each one is enough for you, right? For greetings, actually. Well, I started with the most common one, the easiest expression we all know. And most of people in the world actually greet like this. How are you? How are you? And then we have another more complicated one, which is how are you doing? How are you doing? It's the same thing. The same thing. How are you? How are you doing? Or how's it going? Another expression, which is kind of informal, right? Like how are you doing? But it still reflects the same thing as how are you does. And then we have how's things or how are things. I know you might be somehow curious why I used is for things. This is a common mistake in English, but they still use it. Anyway, so how are things or how is things? Both of them are correct. Sort of, all right? Well, how's everything? Another expression. How is everything? How is everything? Just like how are you? Or how's life? How is life? All of them basically ask about or after somebody's health. You ask about somebody's health. You ask after them. You say, how is it going? How are you? Usually face to face. We use these expressions face to face, directly to somebody else, okay? One of our friends, for example. Or what's up? I drew a line here because the answer would be somehow a little bit different. For these, we have these answers. These are the possible answers, possible tentative answers, like fine, thanks, and you. Fine, thanks, and you, right? For either one of these, I put a brace here, right? Or a bracket. Fine, thanks, and you. So if somebody asks you, how are you? You say, fine, thanks, and you. And you. It means, how are you? How about you? What about you? Or, very well, thanks, and you. Well, this parentheses I drew here, it means that it's optional. You can either say it or drop it out. So you say, well, thanks, and you. Of course, this well, if it is beginning, it starts your answer, it should be capitalized. Anyway, so very well, thanks, and you, or well, thanks, and you. Or so. You can continue. Thanks, and you, right? So. So means 50-50. If it's not really that well or fine. It's like in the middle. Here we have the positive attitude, and here under so we have the negative attitude in response to our friends' questions about our health or greetings. Not bad. Not bad. Or can't complain, can't grumble, can't complain. It means I can't complain. Okay? But when somebody asks us what's up or what's new, it's somehow the same thing, right? What's up or what's new? Well, you can go on, tell your friend, for example, telling your friend different stories that happened to you, right? Or you can easily come up with this fixed or stuck phrase, the sky's up, the sky's up. What's up? The sky's up, right? Americans love this expression, like this response. Or, what's new? Nothing's new. Nothing new or nothing is new. Nothing new. It means nothing much happened. All right? Since the last time we saw each other. And now we catch up, right? Well, there is another expression again. It's kind of different again from the groups above. Like we say, nice to see you. Nice to see you. And the answer is, nice to see you too. Nice to see you too. Or you can drop at this part and say, you too. Just the last part. Nice to see you, you too. Nice to see you, nice to see you too. Right? Okay, now I drew a black line here. A black line. These two expressions we use only and only for the first time that we meet someone. If you meet a new person, a stranger in your life, this is the first time you want to greet or shake hands with that person, probably they would come up with these expressions. Not how are you. This is kind of old. Now they say how are you. But in the old times, usually it used to come up with how do you do? How do you do for the first time only. And the second time, you go up and use these expressions up to here. But for the first time, these two expressions, these two, common phrases. Or how do you do? The answer to your surprise is how do you do? It's a question, but the answer is also a question. As you can note, I ended it with a question mark. Okay? So how do you do? How do you do? There isn't any to after it. It's something like a response. Although strange it may sound or seem, it is the true response. Sometimes they don't even give you their response. Like you say, how do you do? Nothing. They don't say anything. That's okay. All right? But for this one, this is also an expression we use for the first time only. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too, or you too. And please, note difference. For the second time onward, nice to see you. Like, how are you? But here, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, or meet you. Normally, in faster speech, we say te and it becomes che. Nice to meet you. You too. Nice to meet you too, right? Of course, for this one, at the beginning, nice, we can also use other adjectives like glad, like pleased, like other expressions, or even happy. Okay? So don't be surprised if you see other expressions here. So these are the possible answers to these questions asking about each other's health or greetings with your friends or even strangers, like the last two expressions I gave you. So if you have any questions, you can drop your questions or any comments in the comments below. Remember to give us a thumbs up.